guys, welcome to my channel. Keba here today, and today we're going to be doing a April book wrap up. I read like 7 books this month. Didn't meet my reading goal, but I got to read books that were on my TBR list from last year, and a win is a win. So without further ado, let's get into the books that I've read for April. So the first book that I've read for April is 180 by Charity Shane. Listen, I love marriage of convenience trope, and this book had it. Let me tell you. Imagine you have a bucket list, and on that bucket list is the crash a wedding. And when you went to that wedding, you met this fine man. You're like, okay, these people are going to find out that we're not a part of this. So you and your cousin end up leaving, and when you guys left, your cousin say, oh, we're going to Vegas on a private jet. No, on a private jet, you met back the fine man that you've met at the wedding. It's his jet. And as I said, whatever stays in Vegas, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Not all the time. Because you end up getting married and you're like, oh, we're going to get annulment. And you're like, I don't even know your name. The man turned to you, Mr. Gideon Powers turned to you and said, oh, your name is Mrs. Powers now. So what is the problem? No, bear in mind that there are several things that are happening with our FMC. And when Gideon found out about it, he made everything happen for you. He's making going through your bucket list items. He moved mountains for you just as much as he wants to because he loves you. No, why it's called 180? Because Mr. Pauls need to get married in 180 days to get to control his empire. So, who doesn't love marriage of convenience? Now we move on to the second book, that's Throes of Dove. And this is my first time really getting into monster romance. I've read vampires, werewolf. I think I did a dragon shifter. Yeah, last year. But this is the first time I'm doing an art book. So the young lady in this book, she has been violated. And she decided that she's not going to let that hold her back. She's going to get and start her life and try something different. She ended up purchasing a piece of land. And lo and behold, it is connected to an interdimensional realm. So that's where the other people come from. Now, on the other side, where Thor is, and he's having these weird dreams. No, his when he tells his mom about it, because there's several things happening over on his side. When he tells his mom about what is going on, the mom said, go and find your soulmate. And when he did, they end up falling in love. And I mean, the story made sense. There's several things happening. You have a FBI agent that is after her for some strange reason. He is thinking about several things about the person that from the other realm, the arcs, and he's saying that they're real. People are saying that they're not real. There's some I mean, like, it's such a crazy story, and I could get into monster romance. So definitely I will be reading more monster stories down the line. And this is not a very long book. It's very nice to read. And I think there's more books to the series, so definitely I'm going to check them out and see what they're all about. The other book that is on my list, TBR list from last year, is Damian's Dream. The book is 750 page long. That was why I never went into the book last year. I was just very much intimidated by it, and I was saying there's so many things just going on. Took the leap, loved it. Listen, somewhere in the back of my mind, this book should have read a long time ago. Probably I reread it further down in the year just to how good it was. And I mean, like, everybody knows about Damien Dream. It's such a hot book, and I would encourage anybody to read it. It's such a very complicated book. I mean, when you introduce to Damian, Damian is not real how he's introduced to love and how everything happens in his life really affect his relationship, even though the relationship that he got was purely out of um a contract going bad, and he ended up getting the girl, which is Dream. And it tells two story, Dream and Destiny story, where Dream and Destiny are siblings, and Damian is with Dream and Destiny is with Smoke. I mean, like, the entire story was a beautiful thing, and how he actually interpret the connection that he and Dream has, and how he becomes very vulnerable with her. Smoke is in a different situation where he promised himself to his first wife, his first love, and how he got a second chance at love again with Destiny. And I mean, the entire book is just amazing. You need to read it. Don't worry about the 750 page. It goes by very fast. So, no, when J L Seegar released her third book, which would actually be fourth book in the series, but it's the third book in the series, release me. Let me tell you this. I had to read it. I had to, because I mean, like, I'm looking forward to this book for a good little time, and I love it. Can't tell you that I don't. I really love it. I mean, you have met the FMC that is run away from problems. She was in a bad spot. When she got the opportunity to skedaddle, she made her best chance. She actually did it. No, she created a life in a different city in New Haven and trying to make ends meet for her. She ended up meeting this young man, and the young man is arrogant, and she's not about that life anymore. She have dealt with arrogant man over a period of time, and she's not for it anymore. Let me tell you this, Sebastian is a very determined young man. He's like, he saw something in our FMC and desired her and decided that he's going to have her in his life, even if it's just friendship that he started out with, because he realized that she needed it. But when he saw like she was about to go on a date with somebody else, he's like, oh no, kid's glove is off. We are getting this thing together. I am not playing with you anymore. I want you, and I know that you want me. I mean, like, the story was such a beautiful love story, and how he is in her life and helps to heal her as she makes her progress to better things. I mean, like, you had to love Sebastian, how he loves this girl. You had to. And then we move on to the moon. This is a rag to riches story where he follows a group of young folks that are in the hood or the projects, and how they actually made their rise to the top. I mean, the main story is between Javan and Luna, but I mean, I love how the story was dealt. It shows Black excellency in a whole different capacity, and this is how I like to see it done. It's not just only two people that came up, it's the entire crew came up. As I said, To the Moon is such a beautiful story. I mean, it's a little bit long for me. Probably at the time that I was reading it, it's not a very lengthy book, but the plot itself, maybe my emotions and how I was feeling at that present time, kind of let it be what it is. But otherwise from it, such a beautiful book. The other book is Aaron's Patience, and once a baby is in it, I'm definitely going to read it. Definitely. So Aaron and Patience is friends. I wouldn't actually say friends. Their fathers are friends, and they know each other for a little while. They end up hooking up together when they're much older, and it turns out that Aaron had a wife or a fiance at that present time when she found out that she had a child. So she went away with her kids. She ended up having twins. They end up reconnecting again because her father was ill and they were in the hospital, and that's how they found out that she has twins. And he was like, what? These kids are mine. Why didn't you tell me? Listen, this is I'm not going to even play with you. It's either you get married to me or I take these kids away from you. He knows that Patience is not going to give up his kids. She decided she's going to get married. There were so many mixed feelings in this, and the communication. It's not a miscommunication. It's more like, I'm in this particular space and this is what happened. I don't know how to communicate with you because I've been hurt, and they work out the difference. And I mean, the book was awesome. It's a baby trope. I'm going to enjoy it either way. So, you know, it's a good read, not very long, and I think this is the second time I'm reading this author. I love her work so far. I love the book that I read before, and I love this one. It's a part of a series, so definitely I'm going to actually read it. I keep on creating more books for my TBR list. I'm reading these series and they turn out like somewhat good or good for me, and I'm like, hook, no. So the last book is Sinners Anonymous. This book has been on my TBR list for a good little while. I've seen it and I've always been intrigued by it. For anybody that don't know anything about me, I go into these books very much blind. I see the cover and I like it, and I'm like, okay, Sinners Anonymous. And I go into these books and I'm like, okay, this is what's going to happen. I did not have any clue what was going on or what I'm getting myself into. Sinners Anonymous is where it started off, where this young man is burying his parents. I mean, it's a mafia book where this family runs the town, and his father was the preacher or some big church person in the church, and he would listen to the confessions, and based on the confessions, that's how he blackmails these persons, or how he gets things done and know everything in his territory and get things done. Best believe it, his son did not want it. He went to London to run his business. He did not anything to do with this business. But this is the thing. He came back, met this beautiful girl that his uncle is getting married to, and best believe it, nothing of the sort is like how it's actually painted. There were so many mixed emotions. This young lady needed saving, and she decided that she's going to have a plan. She ended up falling for this young man, and he's falling for her. He's like, I need this girl in my life. I'm willing to get and take out my uncle to free her, you know, all of these little things. And I mean, the book was, you know, somewhat up to par. I would like to actually read the other books in the series, but I'm not killing myself to actually put that on my TBR list right now. I have other books that I have on my anticipated book list that I need to actually start getting at. So I've read 7 books this month, and I'm really happy with the 7 books that I've read. Hope next month I reach my target of 10 books. So tell me, did you like any of the books that I've read, or what did you read in April that is interesting that I can add to my TBR list? I'm not making any promises that I will definitely read it right away, but if it interests me, I would definitely read it. So guys, until next time, bye.